Good morning, everybody. As you know, we have a migrant crisis in the UK with now 38,000 illegal migrants crossing the channel so far this year in 2022, which is the largest number ever. There were 28,000 last year, 8,000 the year before that. So it's increased, and it's increasing almost exponentially. But just when you think the government and the contractors the government pay billions of pounds a year to couldn't make it any worse, they've made it worse. So Serco has a £1.9 billion contract to house migrants in homes. That's different to the money that's paid to house them in hotels, which is already a disaster for the tourist industry, the hospitality industry, and people who live near some of these hotels. And we have reports from Holiday Inn, I think in Rotherham, where there's loud music playing to the early hours of the morning every night, disturbing residents. Lots of military-aged men just milling around, and all the sort of implicit threat that comes with that. And that's been replicated all over the country. So you used to be able to just go to any hotel, book in, and you'd think, well, if I'm in a hotel, there's going to be other tourists here, and if it's not full, well, it just won't be full. Now the chances are a lot of the hotels that you would have gone to before for a break or a holiday are actually not available because they're filled up with military-aged migrant men who've come across the channel. And they're going into smaller and smaller hotels and smaller towns and cities and even villages in the countryside now to try to put dozens or hundreds of these military-aged men and disperse them around the country in hotels. What's happening on top of that is this other contract Serco have, and they are now looking for houses in the private rental sector. Now, they already, as I understand, from Home Office figures, house 30,000 migrants, on top of the ones in hotels, in 6,000 homes around the country, flats or houses or mansions which are in the private rental sector. So they get paid by the government, by us, taxpayers effectively, to rent homes and then place these military-aged men in those homes around the country. Now, with 6,000 homes, okay, that's what they've got already, but they've just put out an advert for landlords to contact them because they want more houses. They want more homes around the country, not just where they are at the moment, all over the country. So, it's bad enough for people, in places like Rotherham and so on, who have got lots already, and it's disturbing the quality of life there. But they're now trying to take houses off the private rental sector and guarantee landlords 5 years of rent, every month paid, maintenance paid, council tax paid. They're even going to pay the gas and electricity bills for the people who are put up in these homes. That's a long time. This is not a short time. These are for 5 years, 5-year contracts with landlords that are being offered. So the government has no intention of stopping this issue and solving this issue anytime soon. In fact, that's after when the next election has to be called. It has to be called by the end of 2024. But they're offering contracts up to 2027 now. Now, if you're a landlord and someone comes along and offers you guaranteed rent for 5 years, I don't know what prices they're offering. Perhaps they're offering above the market rate. I don't know. It's a no-brainer for some landlords, unless you have a social conscience and say, well, I'm not going to engage in this, because if I do, I am then encouraging this illegal mass rapid immigration that the government seems to be encouraging. Some people do have a social conscience. For a very, very good example of that was John and Irina Mappin, the owners of Camelot Castle, who the other day were approached by Serco for them to take over their hotel in Tintagel in Cornwall to house migrants. And they said, no, we're not going to do that because that would totally disrupt the tourist trade. It would totally disrupt the local economy and the local area. And we're not going to do that. We're just going to carry on with our business and do business as normal, but not turn our hotel into a centre for migrants. And I think that was absolutely wonderful and patriotic of them to do that. And some landlords of houses will do the same. They will say, no, I'm not getting involved in this. Even though you're guaranteeing me 5 years rent, I'm going to keep on renting my house out on the private rental sector to local people who need homes. And this is what landlords in the private rental sector do. So what this will do, as well as undermining the fabric of society deliberately, and it causing very, very fast-paced demographic change all over the country, which suits certain people, suits certain political parties. It suits the globalists who want to destroy and corrode the fabric of the nation because they don't like anybody to have any connection to the nation. They hate our country. They hate all countries. They want to destroy nations and civilizations, particularly Western Christian traditional civilization. They don't like it. They want to destroy it. That's part of the reason. But also, what this will do is it will ruin the private rental sector. It's already hard enough to find a house to rent out in certain places. Because of the lockdown situation of the last 2 years, a lot of people have moved out of London and they're looking to live in the countryside. Fair play. I think that's a very sensible thing to do. I've done that myself. But when I was looking for somewhere to rent, where in the place I live now, I don't live in London anymore. I live just a little bit outside. It was so hard to find somewhere. Something would come on the market and there'd be 20 people on the first day phoning up to look at a place to rent, and then it would be gone just like that within 24 hours. There's so much demand for houses, flats in the private rental sector outside London and the bigger cities that it's really, really hard to find anywhere. And that's caused prices of rent to rocket. Where I live, the prices have gone up like 40, 50% in the last 3 years. It's ridiculous. And that's replicated all over the country. There's just not enough homes for people. So in that situation, this contractor, which has got a contract from the government, Serco, is offering huge amounts of money to landlords to take their homes off an already strained private rental sector and give those homes to migrants who've come illegally across the channel, mostly military-aged men. This is absolutely terrible for ordinary, normal, working people in the United Kingdom once again. You've got the same situation happening in Ireland as well and other countries around. So this doesn't seem to be something that's limited just to the United Kingdom, but this is what's happening right now this week in the UK. We have to change the government. Tory, Labour, Lib Dem, Green, SNP, they all support the globalist aims of mass rapid immigration and rapid social and cultural change, which will destroy our existing way of life and create problems and tensions and divisions, which is what you get when you have a lot of military-aged men coming into a certain area, overwhelming the local population, and have no interest in just slotting into centuries-old culture and following and cherishing and integrating and assimilating into your ways. They've got no interest in doing that. It's plainly obvious. And yet, yeah, if you say that, then you're called all kinds of names and smears just for pointing out the blindingly obvious that this is causing problems and tensions, and it needs to stop. So we need a change of government. The parties there are not going to do anything about it. They talk about it. There's Home Secretary after Home Secretary after Home Secretary, Prime Minister after Prime Minister after Prime Minister. They all come in and they say, we're going to deal with mass immigration. We're going to get immigration down to the tens of thousands. Every single time it goes the other way, it gets worse, it gets more, it's bigger of a problem than it was before. It doesn't matter who it is, how genuine they are to start with. I don't know. Some of them might be genuine, some of them might not be. Most of them aren't. But we've had this from the fake Conservatives from 12 years. And Labour, at least they were honest. I can't stand them, but they were honest. They wanted to destroy the country, and they told you about it. The fake Conservatives, they pretend they want to restore the country, but they're destroying it even faster than even Labour and Tony Blair and Gordon Brown did. You cannot trust the Tories and the fake Conservatives to do anything about immigration. It's just going to go on and on and on and get worse and worse and worse. And that's proven if you follow the money. And the money this week says money is going into the private rental sector via Serco to take up all of the houses and the slack and put military-aged men in them and disperse them around the country to every town, city and village in the country. That's what the fake Conservatives are doing behind what they're saying. So please, as you know what I'm going to say now, come and join me in the Heritage Party. We stand for low immigration and truly controlling our borders. We'll push the boats back to France that come here illegally. But also, we will strictly cap legal migration, which is also a huge issue. Last year, 1.1 million people came to the country legally. So that makes the illegal migration across the channel look like a drop in the ocean, even though it's a huge problem. So many people coming legally, again, puts huge pressure on housing, on schools, on GP surgeries, on hospitals, on the transport system, everything. We just don't have the infrastructure to cope with it, to cope with such a massive influx of people, which is entirely unnecessary, because we should be training our own young people to do the jobs that need to be done in this country. And we shouldn't be keeping 16 to 18-year-olds in forced education when a lot of them would be better off leaving school at 16, going out and doing an entry-level job. And there's hundreds of thousands of people right there who could do the jobs that need to be done in this country but can't, because we have a ridiculous rule in England, brought in under Cameron's regime, that says you must stay in school or education or training up until you're 18. It's not good for some people. Some people just need to go out and do an entry-level job. That's another thing. That could be the point of a whole other video. Anyway, please do come and join us in the Heritage Party for just simple common sense on this and all the other issues. You can join us on heritageparty.org to make a difference and restore common sense and to fight these insanities in the political realm. So please do look us up. And please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a good day.